In this video, we are going to create an expert advisor that utilizes the Double Exponential Moving Average, or DEMA, to make trading decisions based on price movements. Let's see how we can do that. To begin, we start Metaeditor by clicking a little icon or pressing F4. This opens the environment where we can write and edit our MQL code. The first part of our code includes the necessary libraries. We use the include directive to bring in the CTrade class from the standard library. This class provides simplified trading methods such as PositionOpen and PositionModify, which we will use to manage our trades. Next, we instantiate a CTrade object named Trade. This object will manage all trade operations, including opening and modifying positions. We then define our strategy configuration parameters. These parameters are adjustable in the Expert Advisor properties. The LookbackBars parameter is set to 50, which indicates the historical range for highs and lows that we will analyze, allowing us to look back at 1 to 1,000 candles. The MinCandlesBack parameter is set to 5, which specifies the minimum H for a valid high or low, ensuring that we only consider recent price action. The TrailingOffset parameter is set to 10.0, which provides a safety margin for our trailing stop-in points with a range of 1 to 20. The DemaPeriod parameter is set to 14, which defines the period for the DEMA calculation, and the DemaPrice parameter is set to price close, indicating that we will use the closing price for our DEMA calculations. Following the parameters, we declare global variables and handles. The DEMA handle variable will store the DEMA indicator handle, while the DEMA buffer array will hold the DEMA values. The price data array will be used to store the open, high, low, and close price data. The onInit function is executed once at the start of the Expert Advisor for indicator setup. Inside this function, we create the DEMA indicator handle using the IDEMA function. This function takes several parameters: the symbol we are trading, the time period we are analyzing, the DemaPeriod, a shift value of 0, and the price type for the DEMA calculation. We then configure our arrays as time series, ensuring that the newest data is at index 0. Next, we define the functions for opening positions. The open by position function is responsible for executing a buy order. It retrieves the current ask price using the symbol info double function, which provides the ask price for the specified symbol. We then call the PositionOpen method from the trade object to execute the buy order. The parameters for this method include the symbol, the order type indicating a long position, the volume set to 0. 10, which means we are buying 10 micro lots, the entry price at the current ask, and both the initial stop loss and take profit set to 0, indicating that they are disabled. A comment is added to the position for identification. Similarly, the open sell position function executes a sell order. It retrieves the current bid price and calls the PositionOpen method with the appropriate parameters for a short position. The onTick function is the core of our strategy logic and is executed on every tick. In this function, we first retrieve historical price data for analysis using the copyRates function. This function takes the symbol, the time period, the starting index, the number of candles to copy, and the array where the data will be stored. We also load the DEMA values from the indicator buffer using the copy buffer function, which takes the indicator handle, the buffer index, the starting index, the number of values to copy, and the array for the DEMA values. Next, we check the status of open positions. We initialize a Boolean variable named hasOpenPosition to false and set the current position type to position type buy as a default value. We then loop through all open positions using the positionsTotal function to determine if there is an open position for the current symbol. If we find an open position, we set hasOpenPosition to true and update the current position type accordingly. Now we move on to trend detection and position management. If the closing price of the most recent candle is above the DEMA value, it indicates upward momentum. If there is no open position, we call the open by position function to enter a long trade. If there is an open by position, we check for the lowest price in the specified lookback period using the ILowest function. If the index of the lowest price is greater than or equal to the minimum candles back and the closing price is above the last low, we calculate a new stop level by adding the trailing offset to the last low. We then call the process trailing stop function to adjust the stop loss for the buy position. Conversely, if the closing price is below the DEMA value, it indicates downward momentum. If there is no open position, we call the open sell position function to enter a short trade. If there is an open sell position, we check for the highest price in the specified lookback period using the IHighest function. If the index of the highest price is greater than or equal to the minimum candles back and the closing price is below the last high, we calculate a new stop level by subtracting the trailing offset from the last high and call the process trailing stop function to adjust the stop loss for the sell position. The process trailing stop function is responsible for managing the trailing stop for both buy and sell positions. It iterates through all open positions and checks if the position type matches the specified type. If it does, we retrieve the current stop loss level. For buy positions, we update the stop loss if the new stop level is higher than the current stop loss or if the current stop loss is not set. For sell positions, we update the stop loss if the new stop level is lower than the current stop loss or if the current stop loss is not set. Finally, we press F7 to compile the code. If this was too fast for you or if you don't understand what all the code is doing, you may want to check out the premium course on our website or watch one of the basic videos first. Once we have compiled the code successfully, we go back to Metaeditor by pressing F4 or clicking on the icon. In Metaeditor, we press Ctrl and Alt to start the strategy tester. We select the expert advisor that we have just created, enable the visual mode, and start a strategy test. We should see the expert advisor operating on the chart. If you are already a premium course member and have an idea for a video like this one, you can send us an email with your suggestion. In summary, we have learned how to code an expert advisor that utilizes the DEMA indicator to make trading decisions based on price movements. We have implemented several functions to manage trades and trailing stops effectively using a few lines of MQL code. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.